All right, got this kind of a toad of a walleye. He ain't going back. All right, I love me some walleye for dinner. Not a giant, but damn, that's a nice one. I had a couple of questions. What is the length of your Lammerglass rod? And what about the size of your crocodile spoons, flicker shad, and jointed Rapala? I've had some recent inquiries about lures and the sizes, so I'm going to go over this briefly. I'm going to include some that weren't even asked about. But I will say that these are some of the main lures I'll use year-round to target bass in Lake Washington. And this would actually be more appropriate for trout, but it's in here because it was one of the questions. So one of the questions was, what size flicker shad and where do I get them? This is the 2 3/4 inch. If you go to Mardon Resorts website and look at their tips, they recommend using this lure for multi-species, and I found that they're absolutely right. So there's exactly what it is. 2 3/4 inch. 2 3/4 inch money badger. Jointed shad, the 2 3/4 inch. Crocodile spoon, it's like a 2 1/8 inch or so. I looked it up online. This is an aftermarket hook. This one's all worn out. I can't even show you because it's been so useful and helpful. But this is the 7-foot 6-inch Tournament Series Ultralight, 4 to 8 pound. I would not recommend anything longer than 8 foot in a kayak. When you get these long rods, and in fact, I've mentioned this before, but people don't connect the dots, so they don't ask. When you get long rods and long net handles, it's like having 2 chopsticks trying to net a fish that's moving around. That's why I recommended last year when I put out a tip to chop your handles off on your nets, because 1, you don't have to deploy an extension on your net, and 2, you actually have better control of the fish when it's right next to the kayak, and it forces you to by discipline to wear the fish out enough, not to kill it, but so that you have total control over it and you can net it much easier. If you're trolling for any kind of fish in freshwater, this is a really good rod to use. There's a lot of reels you can use, but I'm using 12-pound lead core, and I use to connect the leader material here. See, I don't know if that's going to focus. I use a uni-to-uni knot. I've been using this for almost 2 decades, this knot. And you don't need an FG knot. You don't need all these fancy knots. Knots don't catch fish. But I use over the years, I've varied on different lengths, but I want at least 12 feet to 18 feet of leader material after the braid. And I'm using 12-pound tests. At the terminal end of it, let's see, where's it at? Sorry, I'm all over in this video. I'll use a snap swivel here. And you can see I double them up, and even in my videos sometimes I do. And the fish don't care. Now, if I'm going after like trout or something, I might eliminate the double up. But because the trout can be a little bit more finicky, and I may not use 12-pound test. I may drop all the way down to 8-pound or 10-pound. This is a giant, folks. Giant lake tap smallmouth. That thing is a toad. That made my day. That and a muskie. See that? Easily 22 and a half. Wait till fall time. Look at that toad.